The whole thing that Microsoft was doing, acquiring all these small studios, was making us feel like they were going to make all these great games. Oh, no, no, no. We're just going to pick the strongest out of all those groups and just kill off all the rest.
Maybe the biggest story this past week, the Xbox layoffs. And not only a layoffs, it was just like the Xbox like massive dump this past week.
And it may not even be done.
No.
Like there may be more.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess we could start off with saying that 9,000-ish staff are going to be affected by the layoffs. Keep in mind that I think that's more employees than most major game companies in like their entire, like 9,000 staff is a massive amount of people.
Probably bigger than a lot of companies.
Yeah, it's
just companies.
That's crazy.
That's a lot of people. That's a small town.
Yeah, it is a crazy amount of people being laid off.
It is all of Microsoft, not just gaming.
Yes.
But it's a company-wide layoff.
Yeah.
It's not just Xbox.
Yes. As for the Xbox portion, a whole slew of games were canceled and studios were closed or are in the process of being closed down. The biggest profile one, The Initiative, who were making Perfect Dark. That game was in development for 5+ years and it has been canceled. It is being shut down. So that game is done for. Everwild, which was the new Rare project that was in development for 6+ years. That has been canceled, which means I guess Rare is just gonna focus on Sea of Thieves and only Sea of Thieves moving forward. Not great. Yeah, ZeniMax Online Studios, the people who of course do Elder Scrolls Online, they were working on a brand new MMO called Project Blackbird. That was 3 years in development. It was supposed to come out in 2028, apparently. And it was a noir-themed MMO with a big focus on traversal. The team working on it has been laid off, so we will not see anything more of that project. John Romero's new games in the company, Romero Games, was confirmed by, I think, Brenda Romero, stated that the development of their upcoming FPS had been canceled. We have no idea how long that was in development or when it was scheduled to be released, but it is done. And all the studios affected, just to rattle off some of those which we've already discussed. The Initiative, canceled. Rare was affected. Turn 10, those are the Forza devs. That's 50% of the workforce was apparently laid off. ZeniMax Online Studios, and also the executive Matt Führer was gone. Unknown number of staff were affected at Halo Studios. Raven Software, who work on Call of Duty. I had some folk that were let go. High Moon, which is a Call of Duty support studio that was affected. Sledgehammer Games, who make Modern Warfare, was affected by the cuts. Blizzard, specifically the Warcraft Rumble team, has had operations ceased and had about 100 people reportedly cut from there. And then 10% of the staff of King, the makers of Candy Crush, about 200 people have been affected from that studio as well. And that's not all the stuff that's happened, because there's just been some very interesting commentary to come from this. The first being the memo that Phil Spencer sent out to staff, which, man, one of those things where we've had him on the show. It is
yeah, that was a little rough, man.
Yeah,
that was a side of Phil I feel like he was trying hard to cultivate us not seeing.
Yeah,
if that makes sense. Like, I feel like the beginning Phil really felt like, I'm your gamer buddy, I'm here to, let's make great games. I'm here to help game devs make great games. Let's all do this together. And this is like much more corporate Phil.
Yeah.
maybe the years are maybe the facade's starting to thin out a bit.
You start to think maybe it was always there. Maybe he does have a job at the end of the day.
Yeah,
so it's
he got hired for this. Yeah, he got hired to do exactly what he's doing now. I just think maybe we all thought he was a bit more kind of for the gamers than it is turning out that he's much more, I think, for the boardroom, which again makes sense. That's what his job is. That's right. Yeah. Which I think is why we were all very surprised when he seemed less like that and more, let's go make good games. So, I think reality is just starting to come to fruition a bit more.
Yeah, it's someone in my chat is quick to point out, that's a very hard thread to ride for a super long time.
Yeah, and he did. I was pretty jazzed at the beginning when they were picking up studios, when like Wasteland 3 came out and they were talking about how good the Microsoft, infusions had been and how it helped the project. Like there was a period of time when things seemed to be moving in a great direction. So, like that was around the time we had him on the show. Like, things were going better. Things seemed to be on a pretty good trajectory with that. But that was before the closures and stuff, or right near before we knew how bad it was going to be.
Right.
So,
Yeah, it's the type of thing where I don't know if I'm equipped to say if he did a good job or not, right? Because there's so many, like, what do you judge that on? A lot of stuff, we don't know what he did behind the scenes. We only know kind of publicly what he was out there, having memos from the firings put out and all that stuff. So I don't know. I can't really say. If you're a shareholder, I think you're happy. If you're a community, I don't think you're happy. And so it depends where you fall on that side of the coin. Some of the stuff in this memo, though, is a little hard to swallow.
What about the making money and this is how we continue to stay profitable?
Yeah.
And, that hurt. That was tough. That was tough.
It says, I recognize that these changes come at a time when we have more players, games, and gaming hours than ever before. Our platform, hardware, and game roadmap has never looked stronger. The success we're seeing currently is based on tough decisions we've made previously. We make choices now that we've for continued success in future years, and our key part of that strategy is the discipline to prioritize the strongest opportunities. We will protect what is thriving and concentrate effort on areas with the greatest potential while delivering on the expectations the company has for our business. This focused approach means we can deliver exceptional games and experiences for players for generations to come. Prioritizing our opportunities is essential, but that does not lessen the significance of this moment. Simply put, we would not be where we are today without the time, energy, and creativity of those roles that are impacted. These decisions are not a reflection of the talent, creativity, and dedication of the people involved. Our momentum is not accidental, it's the result of years of dedicated effort from our teams.
There's so many red flags there.
Yeah.
Like there's so many red flags. Like, okay, if you're acting like you this is normal and you knew it, so why didn't you plan for this? They're saying things like this is our I don't know. Lots of unfortunately, like lots of corpo double talk in this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate. It's very unfortunate, man. And then the big thing that this goes up against is the premise of the entire paragraph you just read is we're going to distill down to our strongest products. We're going to do the whole thing that Microsoft was doing, acquiring all these small studios, was making us feel like they were going to make all these great games. And then here they are later going, oh, no, we're just going to pick the strongest out of all those groups and just kill off all the rest. And that's how we work. Yeah. That's how this works, is what they're saying. This is how we made our profits, and it's how we're going to make profits next year. And when next year we make a lot of money, we're going to talk about this that we're doing here when we do our layoffs next year. So it's like, damn, dude. Like talk about like that's real backwards, man. That's not very cool.
Gets a little bit worse. The Seattle Times reported that all of this reduction in headcount is to free up more capital for AI spending. Specifically, the company is looking to invest more money in AI infrastructure and technologies and is making various cuts across many organizations and divisions to fund these efforts.
And tell me something, do you think all of the millions of saved money going into this new research to get AI implemented at the company, do you think that's going to replace the jobs of the people they already fired?
Yeah. Is this like a test to see if they can do it? Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
No.
It's unfortunate across the board. A lot of those, all of those games looked great. So outside of all that, there was a Twitter back and forth, which is kind of the talk of the greater industry this morning, between Raphael Colonio, who is the former, or rather the founder of Arcane Studios, who's no longer with, I don't think.
He is now with Wolfeye.
Yeah, so he tweeted out, why is no one talking about the elephant in the room, cough, cough, and then parenthesis, Game Pass, which prompted a user to ask him, as a dev, what are your thoughts on Game Pass? And he responded, I think Game Pass is an unsustainable model that has been increasingly damaging for the industry for a decade, subsidized by Microsoft's, quote, infinite money, end quote. But at some point, reality has to hit. I don't think Game Pass can coexist with other models, either kill everyone else or give up. Developers.
People have kind of been saying this since Game Pass came out.
Yeah.
Like it was one of the biggest points of contention when it was first being released conceptually. But I mean, it's a huge issue. It absolutely is. And Raph is absolutely right. And honestly, like what's interesting is we're seeing the ramification. We just did. I mean, look at this. Microsoft with its wildly successful Game Pass and everything's working so great, just fired 9,000 people. So clearly this is like, no, it's not sustainable at all. And it's working arguably as pretty much best as it could right now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, he's nailed it.